On Wednesdays, we bring phenomenal women who have stories that will not only inspire but motivate you to get up from your seat and do something very important with your life. Now, today we have one of such women who has a very inspiring story I can't wait to delve into. She's a screenwriter, a producer of some of Nigeria's biggest movies, one of which would be Okon in Lagos, which was a very big hit in Nigeria. Please join me as I make welcome Uduak Isang. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
First time I heard your name, I just said, Uduak Isang, MM Isang. Yes, I'm outing her. That's her sister, in case you just Would you say that was like a starting point? Would you say that was what helped you come into the industry?
Did
the fact
she
that
give you any leverage?
Any leverage, yeah.
Oh, definitely. She most definitely did. And if nothing else, the goodwill I've enjoyed, it's because she's my sister. So people want to do things for me because MM is my sister. And I wouldn't have been in Nollywood, I think, if she hadn't gone in before me.
All right, now talking about that, I'll just go straight to something we'll probably ask later on in the interview, but because you mentioned the fact that because of her, she was one of the reasons why you went into Nollywood. Who would you say are your inspirations, apart from your sister? Would you identify other women like you who you saw and thought, okay, I want to be, or do something that they've already done?
I would say Amaka Igwe. Are we talking Nollywood?
Nollywood, Hollywood, generally.
Yeah, I would say Amaka Igwe and I would say Chimamanda. My background is mostly literature. I was writing even before I was writing screenplays. Yes, so that's where my inspiration comes more from novelists than from screenwriters. Yes, but in film, I would say Amaka Igwe and MM Isang are my biggest inspiration.
Out of curiosity, sorry, because I'm a big book junkie, who are the novelists that inspire you?
Well, there's Chimamanda, and I learned how to write from Chinua Achebe.
All right, wonderful.
Yes.
Nice.
Fantastic. And I like that you mentioned screenplay. Now, there's a little bit of a disagreement for a lot of people when they hear screenplay, screenwriter, producer, director. Can you please help us draw the line? What are the differences between all these roles? And are you also a director?
No, I'm not. I'm a producer.
Okay, so can you please explain what is the screenplay?
The screenwriter writes, basically, writes
Okay.
the screenplay. The screenplay is what the screenwriter writes.
Okay.
That's called a screen. And then the director basically decides what the movie is going to look like. Sit here, do this. He's the one that has a vision for the film. The producer is more admin, who puts everything together. She hires the directors and everybody else.
Okay.
So you oversee the entire
Yes,
product,
the entire
production.
Yes, yes. But the director is the one who decides every scene, how it's supposed to be.
Now let's go back. Let's start, since today is Women Wednesday, and we want to find out how this journey started. A lot of people who want to get into Nollywood and they're thinking, I don't know how to go about this. Let's start. Was that always part of the plan? Did you stumble into it?
Well, I don't know if I would say stumble because MM was into it, yeah, but it was never part of the plan. It's only because she was in it. I was writing, and one day she had too much work, and I used to think that, okay, I was writing literature, I was writing poetry, and she said, why don't you leave this thing that is not going to give you money and try your hands at a screenplay? And that's really how it started. So I wrote something, and she thought, oh, not bad.
Was the transition easy? No, it's not too far off.
Yeah, it wasn't because it was my early stage of writing, so it wasn't very difficult.
All right. What was the first screenplay you wrote?
Frankly, I cannot remember the name because it was sold to a marketer, and I suspect that he might have changed the name. But the closest would be Ekaite.
Ekaite, all right.
And it seems you've done a lot. How many have you done?
In
so
terms
far?
of screenplay,
Yes.
I don't have a count.
Like, give us a figure.
Maybe about 30.
Wow, nice.
Maybe about 30.
Wonderful.
His business is good.
We're trying.
So what does it take to get an idea or something you saw to putting down on paper and it appearing on the big screen?
Inventing
so the process.
stories.
Yes,
Where do you
because
get your creative juices?
I look at some writers. Writing is not the easiest thing
No,
to
it's
do
not.
because sometimes you get writer's block. So you're already, although you have something and you're like, you don't want to make it look like something else because we are affected by environment. You might watch a movie and you think, it's my original idea, and then someone says you've stolen my idea. So what's the process, from going from an idea to getting it written on paper and then it appearing on the big screen?
It depends. For some of my scripts, I start with the character. So I decide what it is that I want the character to be, his journey, his travels, and then that automatically kind of forms a story. For some of them, something happens and inspires me. I'll give you an instance. One of my films is about your husband. A friend of mine came over and her change of dress didn't fit because she hadn't worn it in a while. So I made a story out of that, how a girl went to sleep over in a man's house and her change of dress didn't fit. And so in looking around, she found that the man was married. So sometimes it's something that's simple. Some other times, yeah, it's just I have to do this. Like you said, I have to pay bills. So sometimes I find a way to unblock the writer's block.
No, you went to the prestigious University of Ibadan and you studied Russian language. That's very interesting. How does that, has it come to help in any way? And,
Yes, actually, first of all, I have a double honors in Russian and communication and language arts. I just thought that I would
Great.
clarify that,
That's
yes.
good.
But my first job was as a cabin crew, and they hired me because the pilots were Russian.
Oh, great.
Yes.
You speak fluent.
I don't know about
speak
fluent,
language.
but I can get by.
Wonderful.
Okay,
Yes, I
so
can
now
get
let's
by.
talk about this character called Okon. We see that in a few of your movies you've used him, and now in Lost in London you're using him as well. Do you intend to create like an Okon character, or what is it with you and Okon?
Yeah, I think
Ime
we've already.
Bishop.
Yes,
his name is not-
Actually,
his name
I've
is
even
Ime
even
Bishop.
a lot of us have forgotten
Yes, people
his
don't
name.
remember that
We
that's
remember
his name.
Okon.
Yeah,
Yes,
Ime
Okon.
Bishop, exactly like Osofia,
Yeah.
Nkemowo.
And Jennifer.
Yes,
Yeah.
true. So tell us about Ime Bishop.
Yes, well, I think we've already started. Like I said, this is like part of the Okon franchise, if I call it that. So we started with Okon Lagos, and we were playing around. I remember that when Desmond was directing, sometimes I would say he's wasting too much time, that I'm not looking for awards. But look what happened, you know. So we did the second one, and then we did this one. This one, my friend was in the UK, the director, and he was doing his master's. So he needed a project. And I've always wanted to do something with Okon outside the country. But I wanted to do it right and at the right time. I didn't want to be sneaking around, you know. So because he was already studying there, it was easy for us to get permissions and stuff. And so we went to do it.
So how did he go? A world where the challenges you face filming in a different country? And all?
The first thing was weather. You know how they say as unpredictable as the British weather?
Yeah.
Yes, it was raining like half the time. And then, you know, they're not like it's different. In Nigeria, we know we make films that should normally take 30 days. We do it in
that's
they're not
not
used to that. Yeah, the DOP says, I'm sorry, I'm done for the day. And I'm thinking my money is going. You can't be done for the day. So, but eventually we found a way out. And it was great. They were absolutely very hospitable.
All right. Now, I'm glad you've had experience of working in London and in Nigeria. How would you've already mentioned one in terms of timekeeping, they're not used to our tight filming times. But what are the other differences and similarities between the Nigerian movie industry? You know, you filming Okon Lagos and Okon in local settings and filming abroad. What were the similarities and differences?
Well, in terms of people, it's the similarities are Nigerians are actually more professional than people think. Yes, so
No,
that
when we go outside the country.
well, even here, people do their job. People do their job. We work them a lot. But and then when they started, they couldn't do more than 3 scenes a day. But I'm coming from Nigeria. There's no way in the world I can do 3 scenes a day on such a budget. But eventually, they got the hang of it, and we're doing our usual about 10 scenes a day. Yeah, and I think that we have something good to show for it.
All right, let's look at Nollywood, the industry, the movie industry called Nollywood. Lately, we're seeing a rise in the movies that are being produced, and we're seeing a lot of people going to the cinema to see Nigerian movies. What's your take on the whole terms when they say old Nollywood, new Nollywood? Lots of people don't like to comment about it, but when I see a movie producer or an actor, I always like to put them on the spot with regards to
I think
new.
it's in a lot of people's minds. I don't think that it exists. I think that it's almost impossible to find a movie that doesn't have both, like new entrants and old entrants, particularly the successful movies. So it's people that are making something out of nothing.
All right. Now, these actors that you use, what would you say are the things you look out for? Now, you're a movie producer as well, so that would automatically mean that you're also involved in the cast and the people that get to play characters in your movies. What are the things you look out for in actors? Would you say that acting is something that you learn, or would you say it's something that you're born with? Beyond the skill, what else are you looking for in an actor?
I think that in Nigeria, I would first of all say that you need to have the basics. You need to at least be able to speak well. You need to look at least good. You need to have a certain level of skills, and then maybe you can learn it. Maybe you can learn it, but you need to first of all. One of the things we struggle most with is speech. We find that very hard.
You'll see a lot of people with husbands that they don't really have in real life.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's one of the biggest challenges. But other than that, you might be able to learn it. It's an added advantage if you're naturally like that and you have it inborn, but you can acquire
I'm happy you mentioned that. There are lots of young people watching now, and they might want to go into film production, and they're interested in Nollywood, one aspect or the other. But you always hear the story. It's capital intensive. We always need money. There is no money. There's no money. What's your advice to those people?
I think they're coming at a great time. There's the internet. So you can do your thing, and then you can put it in promoting Lost in London, for instance. We've done a lot of skits, and we've done a lot of, and we've put it out on. So there's YouTube. There's so much that they can do that doesn't necessarily need money. If your work is good, somebody will find you.
All right. I'm glad you mentioned Lost in London. I think we have the trailer. We'll play it in a bit. But tell us briefly about Lost in London. When is it premiering?
We already did a private screening, but it's showing in cinemas across Nigeria from the 9th of June, which is this Friday.
On a scale of 1 to 10, honestly rate your film. Now, there was a Nigerian movie we went to see recently.
Okay, people are
Ayo and I walked out of the cinema midway.
Halfway,
yeah. It was
and it was the hype around that movie.
The hype was amazing.
Awesome.
I'm not going to call the name of the movie.
Don't.
It was terrible, and I regretted allowing Ayo to pick.
So I've been banned from
never
picking
out
for the next
again.
few.
At least for the
so
next
if we're going
weeks.
to watch Lost in London, Olive has to recommend it.
Exactly. So what should we expect?
You'll be happy. You'll be very happy. It's funny. It's comedy, but if you've seen the Okon Lagos or Okon Goes to School, that is actually a bit political. So even though it's comedy, this film is actually about what it means to be a Nigerian. But you know, because we didn't want to preach, and Nigerians don't have the attention span. It's not so we put it in jokes.
Good.
Yes.
How long is the movie?
It's about 90 minutes.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay. So apart from Ime Bishop, what other actors are we seeing there?
We have Funny Bone and we have Alex Ekubo. The others are British actors.
You missed one major actor. Ayo, you've not told her the actor she's supposed to put.
Oh, you didn't feature Oliver Modi?
Like, really? Really? You know?
Next time.
We will hold you to your word.
Okon in Burundi, you actually.
No, we want Okon in France.
Right. Wherever you say we're
Thanks, so
going
that's
there.
us prophesying.
What other projects? What's the future for you? What projects are you working on?
I am writing a TV series. I want to try TV for the first time. And see. Well, actually, it's not the first time. Desperate Housegirls is TV, but
our TV series.
Oh, did you write? You wrote the screenplay for Desperate Housewives. Please blow your trumpet. What are the other screenplays you've written? Because I love Desperate Housewives.
Thank you.
Even just for the dialogue.
The Desperate Housewives Africa.
Housegirls.
Housegirls.
Sorry,
Yes,
okay. I thought it was okay.
No,
Now, then which other ones have you written?
I have done After the Proposal. I've written. I co-wrote Weekend Getaway.
Okay.
Oh,
I
okay.
co-wrote Busting Out. I have like 100, so quite a number.
But I'm really excited that we have a TV
screenplays,
series coming out, so you all watch out. Olive is going to be on the next one. If she doesn't call me, I'll force myself in. But thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.
And we can't wait to actually go to see Lost in London, and I will give you my honest review.
Yes, that's fine. That's great. That's what helps us get better. So
Very true. We've been speaking with the legendary Uduaki Song, screenwriter and producer, and she's promoting her movie Lost in London. It'll be out in cinemas on the 9th of June. How can people follow you on social media, or is there a handle for the movie?
Yes, there's a handle for the movie, but my handle is more active, and I'm on Uduaki Song on Twitter and Uduaki Song 1 on Instagram. All
right, so follow her on Twitter at Uduaki Song, on Instagram at Uduaki Song 1.
To enjoy more of these our Ogbonge videos when you just watch, press this button to subscribe on top of our YouTube page. You go love her.